Alrighty. Well, this is the Astro as it sits in the garage. It's I think an 88. It is complete. It's just in pieces. That's a headliner for it. Otherwise, the interior is stripped bone. See, I've got taillights and stuff for it. I probably need weather stripping. It's got these huge ass shackles on the rear, which I don't know what the hell they're for, because they're huge leafs. I don't think they're stock. I think they're bigger. It doesn't have a, I'll have a bumper for it, but I was going to put a roll pan on it, which is that one. But that's fiberglass, and I really don't want to use it. I'd rather get a metal one and weld it in. See, over here we've got all good glass. The dash I want to tear out eventually, but I guess that's a project for another day. The motor is a 355 with throttle body, and then it's got a manual transmission in it. It works, it runs, it drives. As I said, most of the body work's done. It's pretty straight. Down here, since I got my back, I haven't really sanded too much. I did a little teeny tiny spots of Bondo and whatnot. We got areas with some rust. That's all surface. The frame on this bad boy is one of the problems, though. The back had some rust. It's real hard to see. But I can put my hand in the side of the frame back here. Pretty much right through the damn thing. I'll try this side. So I'm not really sure. See him in the frame. Nothing here. Frame? No frame. So it might need some welding in the back. I wanted to put a trailer hitch on it, so if I did a roll pan, I'd just put the hitch behind the plate. Shoot, I guess I can say I've got mirrors for it. I've also got a lowering kit on another van, which I believe I can put on, but I haven't put a lowering kit on these vans before. I've got brand new rims and tires for it. They're pretty fat. I believe they'll fit, and if they really didn't, I can always sell these and get some that do. I've got brand new headlights and all that other stuff. There's a bumper that would fit on it. But there's a front and rear bumper sitting around here. Mechanically, everything was working on this. It seems like it's dripping a little oil and dripping some antifreeze, so I need to look at that. And then, let's see, up on top, it's a little dusty, but you can see these lines right here. I've already marked 2 holes for an entire sunroof that I ripped out of a big old conversion van. So I got all the pieces for that, minus weather stripping, and I got screws, but I'll probably just put new screws in. The weather stripping around the windshield is shit too. We come up front. It's if you want to say, tore down to our headlight bezels. See, there's no fenders on it. Bumper and stuff's off. I've got a urethane bumper cover that I stripped down already to put on it. That came off I don't know, it's an aftermarket one. And then of course I've got a billet grill. That's the Phantom type, and that's the one that goes up over the headlights. And then I've got pieces of the original factory trim, and I've already dremeled some of them apart, and I was planning on riveting it together to make a regular front end with the billet grill over the headlights, so it'd look fucking sweet. I mentioned the fenders. They're chilling up here. I haven't touched them, so they probably need, I'm not gonna say body work, but they need prepped. And then I've got a front air dam. There's an original one off of it, and then there's one I pulled off of a conversion van that has that comes down about 1.5 inches lower, that has the spots for fog lights. And I've got the rest of the doors, which I've sanded down, left the glass in. I was going to pull this plate off and do the license plate on the rear, rear bumper or roll pan, which means this is going to come out. And I started pulling a lot of the shit out so it'll come out easier. And for the most part, I think that door's straight too. Same thing with all these. I've got the insulation between them all, but I've sanded them all down to get rid of any high and low spots. And then I'm sitting here trying to scratch them up. Originally I was thinking about taking off the door handles and stuff, but I think I'm just going to drive this one, use it to pull the trailer and make it pretty and go to shows, so we'll probably leave them on. Except for the back, I wanted the door to open, so I'll have to figure that out another day too. The rest of the parts, let's see, what else is there other than an interior, which it has a utterly complete interior. I mentioned weather stripping because I know I'm going to have to spend like $200 or $300, but there's all the old stuff, which most of it is just shit. And then it comes to interior. I've got a couple. I was going to paint it blue, and I don't know if I'm still going to, but I actually have a blue interior out of another van. I'd say about 70%. And then I figured I could just make the rest, and then I think that's it. Alright, the last parts is like the headlight bezels and such. It's just got the squares on it for the headlight bezels and the corner lights and stuff, and I've got new of all that too. For the most part, I don't even know what all I have anymore. There's a lot of different interior parts still, since I never did figure out what direction I was going to go with that. I guess this is my Bondo work. It feels smooth to me, but haven't done much of it. The only part I know of that needs welded in is it's got I cut out a rust hole right here. Man, you can't see anything here. That's a section on this rocker that I cut out. It's still rusted back here, so really you could use this whole rocker or part of it. Rust wise, there's that, and I tried to show the frame, which again, that might be a big one. The whole back of the frame. See, you can even see out here. There's a hole right here. I'd say you can fit 2 golf balls into that hole, and then it looks just about as shitty in some places behind the tires. The rest of the body though is actually pretty good. The front part of the frame up front is so-so. I don't think it's bad at all, really. But the only other rust on the whole thing really is this pillar right here. She's rusted out right there, and there's at least a golf ball size, and then you could really wallow it out and make it a baseball size hole. And that's it. So the last thing I was thinking is any other sheet metal, maybe if we want to do something with that. Any other factory parts, or as I mentioned, sheet metal or anything else. I've got another van just sitting. Actually, I've got 2 vans. One being that gray one, which doesn't have a straight panel on it, and then I've got a blue one that's got mostly all straight panels. They can be ripped to shreds, and then that'll get us any factory parts we need. Aftermarket, as I mentioned, weather stripping. I know I need a roll pan. I need all the paint supplies and prep supplies. And then whatever we need to do the frame. If we have to mess with those shackles back here, eventually I'll do stuff like exhaust. As I mentioned, one of those vans does have a lowering kit on it, and I thought it'd be a good idea. I think it was a Beltec drop, so I think it was, I don't know, maybe 3-inch. And that's here in Galesburg, and I'd have a kid who said he'd help me pull it off if he'd help me pull any parts off if I let him junk it when we're done. So I figured that'd be a good deal, as I could just take literally fucking a third of the van off that I want, and then just give him the rest, and he'd be happy. The last thing I remembered, the hood's right here, and I know the kid that I was supposed to have painted before set some shit on there and definitely put a few little dings in it, so that needs minor body work. Then there's a whatever kind of valance or panel that goes between the bumper and the grill, and that's right there. And then there's the rest of the interior. This shows where kids just cut all the wires in the door jamb. When it comes to the smaller parts, those are interior, different parts for different things. The kid that had it just started throwing everything in a pan, so I have a pan full of fucking bolts. For the most part, if they fit, we use them. If they don't, I can buy new ones, or I said pull them off another van, which is not convenient if it's not in the same town. And then also, if they're in places where you can see them, I'd always go buy shiny stainless ones because I like things to look nice.